So this is gonna be I'm doing a review on my trade performance, on just what I did good, what I did bad, and just try to get some insight of just how I'm doing and what I want to stop doing and what I want to start doing and making practicals around it. So let's go ahead and jump in. So let's see, it's going okay, and I'm recording. So this is 8:15, and I'm watching this 15-minute market structure break, and yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna come down here. I was just really uncertain of what's coming, but I was prepared to just wait for it to drop here. And funny thing is, it didn't drop there. So I have two forecasting tools. One is timing solutions, and it does math cycles. And then another one is this measured move, and it forecasts by Fibonacci numbers and levels based upon a certain part of price from the past to where support would be or resistance would be. And it was forecasting all the way out there, and we came close. And I got skittish around here. I ended up getting a position on the bottom, but I ended up just getting rid of it because I'm like, well, we're gonna come through it, might as well get rid of it, and we're gonna come into these lines or down here, and we never really did. So that was a little bit of a bummer, and I think next time at least I'll just hold a break even. Because like sometimes this one-off level works, and sometimes we go to the deeper one. And too bad I didn't have any 15-minute buy. So here's the forecast at the time, the intraday forecast, and it was like telling me to look for this bottom, but it never really came where I wanted to go, which was the like lower. So, but I almost was thinking about selling down here, but it never went down there. But yeah, I ended up buying somewhere near the bottom. I just got rid of it as soon as I could, which was not necessarily the best idea. Next time I'll just hold a break even. And I'm trying to, and this is kind of just the way I thought it would go. It would come up into here. It actually did end up playing out that way. But I definitely was wanting it to go down. So instead of me thinking about longs, I'm thinking about, okay, this has got to go down here around 39, 32, and it never really went down there. It just had it just turned and had a strong impulse up. I wonder if it shows when if that one I got near the bottom. Maybe that was that one that pink one. I got scared. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got rid of it right away. But that was where was that at? 39.38. Yeah, 39.38. I think that was the bottom. It's just I got rid of it super quick. 39.38. It never really went back. Nope, it never went back there. Yeah, 39.38. That's crazy. Should have held on to it. So here is where I should have been like, oh, like break even. Oh my gosh, my dreams are coming true. 15-minute market structure break, and this is kind of what I was shooting for. I was like, okay, there's a 15-minute breaker here. We're gonna come up there, and we're gonna be, like what's it called? Where they're clustered breakers, and it's just gonna go pull as a magnet up the way up here, and that would have been a perfect trade for the day. And I just was so skittish. It's super hard to buy these bottoms. You could the idea is you either buy these wicks and you don't know if it's going lower, or you wait for the break. And I like to kind of sequentially do it. And one is the attempt for buying the bottom, It just, I was so fixated and had the patience to wait for here. It just never came. And I thought with the forecast, it was telling me to be patient, and it just didn't materialize. So that is one downside of the forecast. But um, like I overall wanted to go long, so I kind of had just got a little out of lockstep. That's the best way, out of sync with what was really going on. And then ever since then, I'm kind of catching up, and I'm like, maybe it's gonna come down now. And I just didn't switch my bias long quick enough. Like this was probably like this pierce of the previous day low, the break of the 15-minute market structure. Like that was it. That's all. That's technically all you need to really confirm. Like, hey, like that's probably it. That's probably the bottom. And then so here I'm like, oh, maybe now it's coming. Nope. And then now it formed a chop box. It's called congestion on the indicator, but it's basically a chop box, and it's supposed to fake people out where these people, the price isn't able to break out, and it's just goes back and forth. And this is when I started to lose a lot of money, because I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to sell the highs and it's going to dump into there. Nope, that's not what happened at all. And I'm looking at the forecast, and I'm getting crushed. Mm-mm. Dang, where'd it go? Okay, yeah, we're already $136 deep per account, and it just only gets worse. And yeah, it's just this. Whenever this 15-minute forms this chop box, it's totally bad. Like to try and trade that, like it's such a bad idea unless it forms the buy or sell buttons, which it didn't, and I was doing it manually, or I was telling the bot to try to get me in, especially this one. So this Polarity ATI bot, it just is not as good. Uh, and whenever I start to do the Polarity ATI in replacement from hitting the buy market or sell market, I get in trouble. I get in a deep hole because they're just not effective, and you end up over trading, and it's just too sensitive. And the best, if I were to go back, I would have been like, hey man, just wait for one of these buttons to show, and let it be, let be, let that the peace rest in these buttons only. And then whenever these buttons go, then you start going for building a position with that thesis, that direction. And if nothing else shows on this 15-minute, don't do anything. That's, if I were to go back, that's what I would say. But man, I'm just really stuck on this window. I'm hitting manual buttons. I'm getting in trouble. Like that's how I know I'm getting in trouble. And then I'm setting up this position to just scale in with the manual stuff, and it just it's just an erosion of just whatever I had at the, or whatever uh, good habits I had. Thank goodness I was able to flatten the losses for the day. I think the end result was like basically 1%, like -$45 or -$60. So it's not as bad, uh, but it could have been better. There at some point I was in profit in the day too. Like here, I think that at this point I was in profit, and then I just kind of started to trade more. And here I started to have some losses. That losing streak was really, with this sideways chop, the consolidation, the lack of a breakout. Um, the the losing streak is real, especially when you just play into the consolidation. So that's pretty much it. There wasn't a whole lot of good trades. I think when I started to come back, I think that was right there. I was starting to do some things that are more appropriate, like here. So some things to comment on. Uh, the beginning of this redemption phase. Okay, so this is the beginning of the redemption phase. Um, the whole idea was to sell the rally, um, and that was the first successful attempt right here. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. So here's when it, yeah, this is like the first successful attempt. And then I was able to get that false breakout in, and then we also got this, I think, sell the rally. I don't know, maybe that's, I think this is from the price action indicator, this one. This is a possible entry. I don't know what that is actually. Maybe it's a take profit. But I think at some point I'm able to hit that button on the 15-minute. And let's see, this one, now I got two, now we got three positions. I think this is where we start bankrolling. And so I turned on this regression. So if it were to go long with a stacked imbalance, it would give me an entry short. And I think I was playing off the 5-minute fair value gap that. So now we have 4, and I'm thinking it's coming now. It's coming here, and it never really did. That's what was the terrible thing. It never really got there, and that's the problem with anticipation. You just have the wrong kind of setup, the wrong kind of trade, the wrong kind of timing, and you just make it all about fulfilling those expectations, and that's when you end up making mistakes. But I did this scale in, I think, correctly. Stops above the 5-minute fair value gap. I paused the scale in and waited for price to go, and price started to go, and I had to figure out my exit strategy. Do I exit here? Do I exit here? Or do I exit here? And I'm thinking, well, if we close the bar there, it's highly likely that that's it. That's at support, and it's gonna go higher. And so I started to jump out, and that was a move that was able to get me back into the good graces. Let's see if I can see the P&L. So I'm still doing forecasts and trying to check the correlated assets, currencies, with the risk on, risk off nature of the equity market. I was looking at this prop firm stuff. So here I got to sell. I think I was like, okay, maybe I can go after it again, and that was a mistake. I think right now I was in profit, and then this second run was a mistake. So I actually front ran this entry, and I shouldn't have. The best move would have been to wait until this entry gets triggered, then I build a position. Instead, I use the Polarity TI to try and get me some entries before it triggers, and that was a mistake. So the best thing would be to just be patient, wait for this 15-minute thing to get entered in first, and then start building a position. And I'm just not able to be patient enough to use this sensitive trade bot with skill. The polarity ATI isn't that great to begin with, and it just makes me overtrade. And I'm planning to just cut it from the future, building positions in the first place, just because it gets me in trouble with trying to claw back losses. And it looks good. It looks like things are going good. I think we got an entry, and we're trying to figure out what's the plan. When do we scale out? I think this is like the one that put me in profit actually. Because it looks like it's pretty big, and I came back. I started to sell 2/3 because and then put the rest to break even because I wasn't sure if we were going to get a runner and we were going to go here, and we didn't. But after this move, I think I was sitting pretty. If we could see the P&L, but it was green, and from all those losses, we had $350 in losses. We got it back, and that's actually hard to do. Just because, like, usually when you have a losing streak, you just continue to lose. And with the amount of entries and trades I put in, I wouldn't be surprised if I blew my accounts or whatever. It was definitely luck that I was able to claw back the losses. Let's see. I like over trading. Here we go. Like this, tons of over trading. Now I'm trying to go long, and then I'm getting chopped out right here, and I'm like, maybe it's short, and I'm just totally losing patience and a long-term kind of mindset. And that's the end of that. There is a part 2 video for Friday, and that's this one. And I'm not sure if we end up getting another glance at the P&L. Here it is. So it was green, and then I had another trade, but that trade ended up failing. And then now we're starting to build losses again, and ended up getting to like negative $70 per account, which is not bad, but the most ideal is to either have profit, or at least after reclaiming the losses, just leave it alone, close green on the day, just because of how choppy it was. Like, you could see how insanely choppy this thing is. It's ridiculous. And there's not a whole lot of good modeling behavior that I want to repeat and visualize for the future. This is just a lot of disorganization and not the best order of building the position in patience for entries. Like, the entries were just terrible, depending a whole lot on the polarity ATI and manual. I would buy the market and sell the market. A lot of manual entries to FOMO into a move, and it just didn't materialize. And some of them like turned a profit, but for the most part, like, it wasn't really big, and it ended up resulting in losses. So I think that's it here. It's just not a lot of bad model behavior. And then this one, I was starting to chase shorts as it's moving up, and before it hit that entry of this sell down from the price action indicator. And I'm trying to front run before we get that red dot, the entry from the price action indicator, and losses. It's and then now I'm like, oh, maybe it's gonna come in handy with this setup here, and it didn't. It totally blew through it. It looked like it. It looked like it was about to do it, and it just totally blew through it. And then I'm trying to do a short again and again, and eventually it comes down, but then I hold on to it, and then I try to get in again. I just didn't. It hit the stops. So I mean, I could have been in profit at $100, but I just wanted more than just $100. I wanted like 200, 300, and I just wasn't satisfied. And with how choppy it was, I just didn't recognize that, man, this is just such a tough day to just take 100 and go. It's better than closing the day with losses. And then that's pretty much, let's see. Here, I think we saw a glimpse. So this is pretty much the end of what I closed with, around $68, which is roughly 2 micro trades lost, which is roughly I think 2% loss on the day, which isn't bad. It's kind of just what you want on a daily loss, like around 1%. 2% is like you want to start having less and less 2%, more 1% or half of 1%. But that was pretty much it of the day. So this, if I were to just kind of sum up what I would do differently, I would wait for the price action indicator on the 15-minute, not do the polarity ATI entries, and not click the manual market buy and sell, and only turn on the Trade Devil's auto footprint trader only when there's a market structure break in the direction I want it to go to scale into a position. And I think if I did all that like I did last week Friday, I would have been more successful and actually close with profit on the day. So that's kind of my closing thoughts.